Hi guys, it's Heidi here from Heidi Helps the Philippines Made Easy, your dreams made possible. I have a special guest here with me, Evan from the Savvy Expat. Hi Evan.
Hello, thank you for having me on, Heidi.
It's like the tables have turned. Like cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. The tables have definitely turned because Evan used to be the one who ran interviews with me, but now I'm the one interviewing him. So
It does feel a little bit weird. I'm on the opposite end here, so.
yeah, and I hope you don't mind me asking a few questions.
No, not at all, not at all. Usually I'm the one interviewing.
So for those who don't know yet, tell us about the Savvy Expat channel. How did you start the Savvy Expat channel?
Yeah, I mean, so essentially it started off as more so a journey of documenting what it was like leaving the States and moving to the Philippines as somebody that's Filipino, right? So I was born and raised in Chicago, moved to the Philippines 5 years ago, and started documenting the journey. And I thought, wow, there's so many expats that are also moving to the Philippines. And I didn't necessarily try to target a retirement audience, but it was naturally drawn to me just because that's the demographic of people that move to the Philippines, right? So I ultimately just dialed in on the retirement demographic, and from there made videos about how to make it easier to retire in the Philippines smoothly. Yeah.
I know you're part Filipino, like you're full Filipino, right? But
Yeah,
then your
full
family moved to the U.S. when you were young.
Correct.
Like, what made you choose the Philippines and to come back here and live
Yeah,
here?
absolutely. So initially it started off with my family. They wanted to kind of give us a taste of our roots. Even my parents, they barely had a taste of their roots as well, because it was our grandparents that moved to the States. So I like to say, like, we're like coconuts. We're white on the inside, brown on the outside. But yeah, I mean, so ultimately we were like, okay, let's try out the Philippines.
Yeah.
And stayed here for the first 2-3 years. I loved it. And my parents and the rest of my family, they just go back and forth. But I stay planted here.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have when they're moving to the Philippines?
I think that it's all jungles and nipa huts. A lot of people think that it's
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'll FaceTime my cousins. Mind you, they're also Filipino, so you'd think they have an idea of what it's like here. And I'll FaceTime them, and I'm walking through BGC, and they're like, "Evan, why are there skyscrapers around you?" I'm like, "You think it was all just going to be a jungle?" So that's one thing. Another thing is, I'd say that. Other than that, I'd say like everything is just like completely poor. Like everything is super third world. At least from what everyone told me when I told all my friends, I'm going to be going to the Philippines. Just like, aren't you going to be like struggling there? Is it not like nice? And they don't know there's areas like Cebu, like BGC, Magati, right? But yeah, those are the main misconceptions I usually see.
I know you're Filipino and you've probably had the whole Filipino cultural experience from coming from the U.S. But was there something that culture shocked you when you moved here?
Culture shocked me. I think not necessarily, because we lived in BGC, right? So it's not too different from the States. However, it was mainly with making friends. So the people, I think, and this is very valid. Like, a lot of Filipinos would be confused when they meet me because it's like, yeah, I'm Filipino. Obviously, I look very Filipino as well. So when they start hearing me speak, they're like, why are you acting like this?
So they're culture shocked from you.
They're culture shocked from me. I'm the culture shocker, right? But yeah, they get culture shocked, and that, as a result, kind of made me like think, can I make friends here? But as I started adapting to the culture, my culture, I noticed like it's super easy and like everybody's very friendly.
Yeah. Okay. So the Savvy Expat channel, your tagline there is basically targeting the 1% expats that move here to the Philippines. So a lot of people actually worry about the cost of living here in the Philippines, right? How has that been for you? And what can you give? What advice can you give to people planning to move to the Philippines in terms of cost?
Yeah, in terms of cost, I feel like the Philippines is the kind of place where it is what you make it. So if you want to live a very affordable lifestyle and live between like $800 to $2,000 per month, or even $1,500 per month, that's 100% doable depending on the location. Majority of the expats that I target live within Manila, like in BGC and Makati, which is a little bit more of the expensive like business districts in the Philippines. And it's also kind of a demographic I wanted to target because it's the lifestyle I live. I can't really target somebody that wants to live in the province, and I personally don't, right?
Yeah.
So in that regard, the Philippines is what you make it. If you want to splurge and buy memberships and fancy hotels and go out for drinks all the time, then you can do that and live pretty equivalent to the States, except maybe get a little bit more. Or if you want to live a more affordable lifestyle, you can do that as well.
Okay. Has it always been BGC for you, or have you tried living in other places?
So it was BGC for the first 5 years. and then eventually this 20-minute walking distance city gets a little bit, the same after a while,
Yeah.
monotonous. So I moved to Rockwell, which is funny because it's smaller than BGC. However, I like Rockwell because there's an element of like privacy involved with this place, and it just felt very quiet. Whereas BGC, as time went on, thanks to YouTubers, right? It's gotten a little bit more crowded, but it's still an amazing place to live, especially as a soft landing destination.
Okay. Do you have any other islands that you prefer in the Philippines, or is your heart set in BGC?
I wouldn't even say BGC anymore. So I enjoy just Manila in general. I'm a city person. I enjoyed Cebu when we were there as well, and I got to meet you and the team. But no, Cebu is good. I love Siargao. Siargao was very fun, and Coron was a great time as well. So I'm not a huge fan of like the beaches, but I do like a little bit of nightlife here and there. So yeah, those places are pretty fun.
That's awesome. So, as an expat moving here, helping other expats, right? What are the common mistakes that you see expats do when they come to the Philippines?
Great question. Usually, whenever an expat comes here, I think it's more so just the mistake is not knowing what they don't know. So they come in here blindly, thinking that okay, I can wing this move by myself, and I'll be able to handle all the documentation process with the retirement visa, for example. Like that's one thing. We'll start with the retirement visa, right? They think they have all the documents that they need. They fly all the way halfway across the world, apply for the PRA just to get turned away, and realize, okay, now I have to book a flight all the way back, waste months on end. So like thinking that they have all they need because there's so much conflicting information online with the documentation process, even when it comes to finding rentals here, thinking that, okay, I'm getting a good deal, but literally they know at like the local market rate, you could probably get it for 10, 20,000 pesos less than that.
Yeah.
And then they get stuck into a lease with a shady landlord. Maybe the place is not the same as what they saw in the photos. We always talk about them getting bait and switch, where the photos look beautiful online, but in person it's not the same. And then just getting skin tax. So skin tax, lack of awareness on the documentation process, and getting bait and switch is one of the main things that expats miss out on.
If you can, do you have like an experience from an expat that you've known who's had like the worst experience? Do you have a story to share about
Oh my
that?
goodness, absolutely. So there was an expat I spoke with about a month and a half ago, and before we started working together, he came here to the Philippines, and he locked in on a unit in BGC, put down 4 months deposit, and little did he know that there was a roach infestation problem.
Oh, no.
There was mold growing everywhere, and it was just completely disgusting. And he thought it would be okay because the landlord said, before you move in, we're going to get it cleaned. He tried to ask them to clean it, for maintenance to come over. Nobody responded to him. And so he's like, you know what, screw this. He was pissed off. He moved on to the next place, locked in another place for 4 months. And again, same problem. It was gross, it was disgusting, and it was unclean, right? And so that's when he called me, and he's like, tell me about the situation. I asked him, how much did you spend by the end of locking in those leases? He said $7,000 in mistakes. Yeah. And so I was like, so you wasted $7,000. I mean, you could have just called somebody for help. And he's like, well, I thought that I could do it myself because I was already here. And I was like, oh. So that's something to watch out for, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of traps here in the Philippines that you really have to watch out for. Like, it helps before you come here to have a trusted source rather than trusting someone blindly, especially if it's like a professional like you that does relocation services. It definitely helps, rather than learning the hard lessons yourself and then it being an expensive lesson at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I mean, the way that a lot of the expats tell me on call is like, Evan, the reason why I feel like it's good to work with you or somebody like on an agency is because either way I'm going to pay for it. If I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to pay for it in the long run with stress and also in just wasting time and money. Or I could pay for it up front and have it done right the first time. So,
yeah, exactly. And you save, the hassle, the stress, and the money basically that you're spending when you're coming to the Philippines. So, do you have any advice for expats who are still on the fence about moving or retiring here in the Philippines?
Yeah, I think ultimately, if you want to live in a place where you can escape like the rat race, you can escape the political. I mean, if you're in the West, right? Obviously, not ideal with the political situation. A lot of chaos going on. Not the safest in many areas. The cost of living is skyrocketing. The inflation is skyrocketing as well. If you don't want to really live in that sort of lifestyle and you want more bang for your buck, then consider Southeast Asia. Now, if you're considering Southeast Asia, now consider a place where it'd be a soft landing location that speaks a country that speaks English, has friendly people, and ultimately has relaxed visa laws as well. And that's why a lot of the expats I talk to ultimately dial in on the Philippines, is because they can escape like the chaos and the high cost of living, move to Southeast Asia, and the best place for them is usually the Philippines, just because it's an English-speaking country. And obviously, if you're coming from the West, living their entire life, it's a very big shock to move to Asia.
Yeah.
So the Philippines eases that kind of blow.
So your channel, The Savvy Expat, has become like a trusted source of information. What do you think has contributed to the success of your channel?
Wow, that's a great question. What contributes
You
to
have
success?
a lot of followers, Evan.
I think well, I mean, number one, I think it was just listening to my audience. So whatever feedback I got, I listened to. I think ultimately is also kind of dialing down in a very specific niche. I knew the lifestyle that I wanted to live and the lifestyle that I enjoy. So I targeted the people that, and I try to speak to the people that I feel like wants a similar lifestyle. So.
Okay. So, sorry.
No
cut.
worries.
Cut. Editor. So you've started a relocation services with your channel, right? So tell us how you got into that. Like, how did you decide from having the Savvy Expat channel guiding expats to actually offering relocation services for expats that are coming to the Philippines?
Yeah, absolutely. So initially, with the channel, a lot of people look to it for information, and then I'd also have people ask for like consultation calls as well. I didn't really like sitting on call for like an hour of my time, and so I was like, ultimately, what's the best way to go about doing this? I can just give people information, and either way, with the information that they have, they can still potentially screw up their move. Or I could just do it for them, and they don't have to touch it. Like, they don't have to lay a finger. So just giving them a better experience, as opposed to like, okay, take this information, run with it. Here's a few Facebook groups, and you're good. That's still not gonna work out. So I'll do.
Yeah, so what you're doing is like, we share clients basically, but you've helped a lot of people make their move here easier in the Philippines. And that's really saying a lot, because they already have someone they can trust when they fly out here in the Philippines. So what is the next step for the Savvy Expat? Like, what do you want to do with your relocation services in the future?
I really want to expand sort of the social, side of a relocation journey for an expat. So I handle like all the logistics now, from like bank account, healthcare, you guys with the visa, and then also the rentals, right? But now that they're here, I find, okay, a lot of my expats will call me like, okay, now I'm here, Evan, but I still don't have a life. Like, I need community, I need a social circle. So now I want to build a community, throw events, have different getaways, maybe like island hopping and stuff like that, and basically build a life for an expat via meeting other people.
Wow, that's really awesome. This is something that CNG also actually wants to do.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So, last question, what message do you have to people who are thinking about moving to the Philippines?
If you're thinking about moving to the Philippines, I'll say this. You've helped several expats with transition to the Philippines, and I haven't heard one expat that told me, Evan, it was a mistake by moving here. Ultimately, if you're in a new stage of your life and you're done with work, you're retired, what you're looking for now is most likely, right, peace of mind, is to get away from the chaos, is to be able to relax, and to be able to enjoy your life on your terms with freedom. And I feel like the Philippines is the perfect place for that.
Wow, that's really beautiful. All right, thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Evan, for being here.
Thanks
I know my
for having me
channel
on.
is small, but like, thank you for giving me a chance. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you again soon.
See you.
See you guys.
Awesome. That was good.
That was good. That was good. Thank you so much.
Of course.